Video game content is so often focused on the games themselves, how to make them, how to beat them, what makes them good, but people often overlook one of the most critical factors in gaming, the controller. From the first rudimentary controllers to the highly advanced input devices of today, this area of the industry has been a constant source of innovation. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the major innovations in game console controllers and how they've improved our gaming experience over the years. Hi, I'm Irish Ronin. Welcome to the channel. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, let's dive in. Way back in the dark ages of 1972, The Godfather had just come out, Nixon was president, and NASA decided we're not going to the moon anymore. In the gaming scene, Pong had just hit arcades and was a smash hit, but something else was happening closer to home, as in your home. Magnavox released the Odyssey, the world's first home video game console, and with it, the first game console controller. This controller was known as the Brown Box. Just look at that sexy beast. The ergonomic design, the faux wood paneling, one button, two knobs. What more could you even ask for? Plus, in their infinite wisdom, Magnavox figured it would be best to have two players using one controller, as in one knob per player if you're trying to play tennis. Hard to imagine how this beauty somehow died out. But to be fair, this was the first time anyone attempted anything like this, and Magnavox kicked off the entire home gaming industry. So, a tip of the cap and a thank you to Magnavox, even if the controller does look like an office intercom. The next few years saw various designs with combinations of buttons, knobs, joysticks, and all kinds of weird things. Until in 1977, Atari released the Atari CX40. Now this was a game controller. Atari boiled down the gamer's needs to a simple device that was easy to use and understand. One joystick, one button, and it fit in the palm of your hand. Nothing like working your joystick in the palm of your hand, huh? Dick jokes notwithstanding, what cemented this controller as the gold standard was a great idea that Atari had: cross-platform support. In addition to working with the entire line of Atari 8-bit computers, the CX40 could also be used for games on the VIC-20, the Commodore 64, Commodore 128, and MSX. You could even use it with the Apple II. Well, as long as you bought the special Apple adapter. Some things never change. The fact that this one controller could be used with so many systems made it by far the most popular controller of the 80s, and it remains an iconic controller to this day. Fast forward 6 years to 1983, we get the debut of what most of us think of as a controller. That's right, the NES. I'm not positive on the reasoning for the inclusion of the D-pad for things like movements, or the fact that all you really need to use is your thumbs. Perhaps Nintendo was concerned about customers injuring their wrists by vigorously playing with their joysticks all day. Okay, that's the last masturbation joke. Whatever the reason, this design, simple though it is, became the foundation for pretty much all mainstream video game controllers moving forward. The next major innovation came in 1988 with the Sega Genesis. Sega's Mark 1650 controller improved on the NES's design in two significant ways. First, its geometry was rounded, as though it were designed to be held comfortably in human hands. Good thinking, Sega. Second, on the shoulder, it added a mode button. This was the first instance of players being able to change the mappings of the buttons on the controller in real time. This opened all kinds of doors for game devs that could now design more complex input systems to increase the variety in their games. For example, in Streets of Rage, you could press the mode button to switch from standard attacks to special moves. Of course, not to be outdone, 2 years later Nintendo released the SNES, whose controller had two shoulder buttons. Hey Sega, put that in your juice box and suck it. The next few years saw very little in the way of innovation. A few more buttons here and there, but nothing serious. Until in 1994, when a company then known for home AV equipment gave us the Sony PlayStation, and a couple years later, the DualShock controller. Holy shit. This thing was amazing. In addition to the then standard D-pad and surface buttons, the DualShock had not two, but four shoulder buttons, and for the first time ever, built-in haptic feedback.
But wait, there's more!
The DualShock also set the new standard for movement input: 2 analog sticks. Any gamer will tell you that this layout is far superior for 3D environments. One for movement, one for looking around and aiming. This mode of control became so ubiquitous that Lockheed Martin actually designed the controls of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter with 2 sticks rather than the traditional yoke, specifically because the next generation of pilots would intuitively understand these controls better. Hell of an impact for a game controller. The final major innovation in game controllers came in 2002 with Nintendo GameCube's WaveBird controller. I have logged a lot of hours playing Smash on these bad boys, and despite the insane design, they will always have a special place in my heart. But the real reason this controller is worth mentioning is that it was the first controller for a major console that was wireless. Gone are the days of being tethered to the console, unable to recline comfortably on the couch like the lazy gamer I am. Now, you have complete freedom. Needless to say, every game console since then has had a wireless controller option. Beyond that, the technology has undoubtedly improved, but it's been a while since we've seen any paradigm-shifting changes in video game controllers. Nintendo does keep trying though. Bless their little hearts. Before you blow up the comment section, yes, I know about VR and AR and motion control and all the other ways you can interact with a game, and maybe I'll do a video about those, or maybe some of the peripherals that we've seen over the years. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. If you liked the video, help me feed that algorithm by hitting the like button. If you really liked it, the subscribe button is just a few pixels away. If it wasn't your cup of tea, thanks for sticking around, and maybe one of my other videos is more up your alley. Until next time, this is Irish Ronin reminding you of the most important game loop in life. Do, fail, learn, repeat. See ya!